Hi everyone, John for Popeyes Postcards. I want to do a mini Q&A uh, video. Just over the last couple days, I've received two or three pretty good questions that I don't think I could really do justice with just typing, and I think you need to hear me ramble on about them. So I'll answer these two or three questions in this separate video. And if you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. I try to answer every question that I see. I've been trying to do a good job of that, but some of the questions I think I need to expand upon more. And the first question came from Picnic Postcards. Uh, not necessarily related to this video, but how do I come up with prices when vending in person? How different is it from pricing to sell online? And for those that don't know, I have I have set up at Postcard Shows, and I also have about 45,000 postcards in an antique mall. And so the question is, how do I price those, and if it's different from how I sell on eBay? And it'll be a long, convoluted answer, but it all starts when I get a box of postcards to sort through. I'll go through and cherry pick once or twice the cards that I want to sell individually on eBay. I usually don't do initial research on those cards. I'll just grab what visually looks appealing, stuff I haven't seen before, places and topics that I know sell very well. I'll pull out real photos, stuff like that. And that leaves boxes and boxes of cards that, in my mind, are not going to sell for more than $5 on eBay. And then what I'll do is I'll take out individual cards from those boxes, and I'll price them anywhere between a quarter up to $3 or $4 to put in my boxes at the postcard shows and in the antique malls. So I don't really have a good science. It's more of a gut feeling that I don't think this card is going to sell for more than a couple bucks, and I'll price it accordingly, which just a couple of dollars, and put those in those show boxes. And I also specifically bought out a collection several years ago. It's that 90,000 postcards that I always refer to. I bought that specifically as show stock, and a lot of those cards were already priced. So out of that 90,000, I probably 30,000 of those cards is probably what makes up my show stock now, and my antique booth stock. When I first started vending cards, and it's the same thing, it was cards that I didn't deem to be worth a whole bunch of money on eBay. I just had them in boxes, and everything was $1, unless I did have quarter boxes that people could look through, and obviously they were a quarter, but all the other postcards were $1. That saved me the aggravation of trying to actually price stuff or get rid of prices that were on the back. Everything was $1. So again, I specifically bought out the collection that was pre-priced, and I've used those prices. I have gone down, reduced some prices on those pre-priced cards, and then I've also added $1 or $2 to some of those prices. And for eBay, like I said, it's already stuff that I've cherry-picked, that I have at least in my mind, an idea that it's going to be more than $5, or it's something I'm going to list for more than $5. And then those prices on eBay, it's based on researching almost every card through previous eBay solds, Terapeak, and WorthPoint. And that's why some of my cards on eBay, probably the vast majority, are in the $6 range, and those are actually probably more of the older cards. I used to have this thing that $5.99 for every card. Started at auction. If it doesn't sell for more than $5.99, it's just going to stay at $5.99 when I relist it as a buy it now. Now I'm taking a little bit more time and pricing a little higher, more in line with what previous sold comps are listing the card for. So, picnic postcards, I hope that kind of answers your question. Just to sum up, cards that I price for vending are my lower end. I call them my second tier cards, and they're only going to be really for a couple dollars. And then the next question comes from Kane6676. There's a postcard show 2 hours for me in Hutchinson, Kansas. Curious if you know if they are worth attending. Absolutely. Postcard shows are definitely worth attending. If you are a collector, you're going to have, not as big of a selection as eBay or any other type of online marketplace, but you're going to have anywhere between half a dozen to, if you go to York show in November, you're going to have 75 dealers, millions of cards in one place that you can search, you can handle in person, and probably might be 100% of these cards have never been on eBay. You're going to find dealers, and if that Hutchinson, Kansas postcard show is like any other postcard show that I've ever attended, the great majority of the dealers are going to be elderly in their 60s to 70s, maybe even 80s, and probably 19 out of 20 of them don't sell on eBay. So you're going to have postcards that have never been on eBay. You're going to have dealers that may not even own a computer and have no idea of current valuation of some of their cards. I've been able to go to postcard shows and cherry pick out of the vendors' boxes cards for 80 cents that I know I can get $100 for, and I've done it time and time again. Actually, I'm going to probably give up vending at shows because I can actually make more money cherry picking the other dealers at these postcard shows and reselling those cards that I purchased from them on eBay. And if you're a collector, it's great to go and talk to the other postcard dealers there. Tell them what you want. They may not actually have it there in stock, but they will write that down. They will, if you have contact information, they may go back to their shop and say, have that stuff back at their shop or in their back stock and be able to send it to you, or they'll bring it to the next postcard show. I've done that before, had several people, one guy collects leap year postcards, and anytime I come across leap year postcards, I'll set them aside, and if I see him at a show, I will show him the stack of leap year cards I have. There's a guy in my postcard club who likes postal cards, so I will save up my postal cards and show that he'll have first crack at them at the next postcard club. And if you're a reseller, not only, like I said, you can cherry pick through the buyer or the seller's show stock, but a lot of sellers are also going to have quarter boxes, dollar boxes, 50-cent boxes, and you can go through those and pick out winners, because even the most experienced postcard dealer is not going to know everything about cards. I consider myself almost an expert in postcards, and some of those cards that I've missed on my first, second, or even third cherry picking of my stock, I'll go back into those boxes and I'll find cards that are worth $100. And again, I've said that I've come across cards in quarter boxes that I've resold for $100 or more. So yes, postcard shows are worth attending if you go prepared to be overwhelmed. And I think in my sourcing video in a beginner's guide to selling postcards, I think in the sourcing or going to postcard clubs video, or of postcard shows video, I tell you some tips and tricks for buying cards at postcard shows. Let me see what else with postcard shows. Some are free, some are $5 to $10 entry fee. I know York is, I think it's $10 for both days. So definitely worth attending, even if you go once. Just to say you've gone to one, just be prepared to be overwhelmed. Go with an open mind and decent amount of cash in your pocket. And the third and last question I'll go over here. This is from Brian, and it's concerning. He left the comment on the video I did when I first bought the million postcards collection, and he asks, how do I ensure someone hasn't already cherry picked all the value out of this or any lot? And that's a great question, and the simple answer is you don't. So as I answer this question, I'll have Matt from Jackass Retro. I'll have his channel playing, because this is me when I first go out to pick up the million postcards. It's a gamble. You really don't know. You need, if you're going to be buying lots, and to ensure that it's not cherry picked through, you have to be hands-on. If you're buying from eBay, and look at the last video I did on in the beginner's guide about buying bulk lots on eBay, and it'll show you pretty much, if you're going to sell them, show great pictures. And it's the opposite if you're buying, is if you can't have hands-on access to the postcards, make sure they have as many good pictures as possible. And I think usually you can tell if a lot is cherry picked or not. You can also and the ways you can tell if it's all chrome, if it's crap chrome cards, if you're seeing some real photos, if you're seeing decent street views in the pictures, there's a chance it may not be cherry picked. Check the sellers' other auctions or other items that they've sold. Are they a postcard seller that is selling single cards, and then they're trying to pass off an unsearched lot of 1,000 postcards? Bullcrap. That seller has looked through and cherry picked out of that lot the best cards. If, like for this lot of airplane cards, there were enough pictures on the internet, and I'm sure you watched the video because you commented on it. There were enough pictures that I knew that the guy was a serious collector. The collection was organized, and the stuff that really, for this deal, the mass quantity of it made it a good deal. And in talking with the kid who I bought those postcards from, I knew that, at least according to him, he was a young kid, was not really an eBay seller, and really had no idea how to get rid of these cards except for dumping them in a big lot. So the totality of everything led me to believe that this was an excellent purchase, that it wasn't going to be cherry picked, and that again, the sheer volume and quantity would make this an excellent deal. One of the other purchases I've done, I bought probably, 200 to 300 boxes of cards, whatever the 90,000 postcard. Those came from an antique mall. So these cards have been in that antique mall for probably years, and I would almost guarantee that they were cherry picked, because everybody had access to them for years. And I still purchased a lot. One, because the price was good, and the sheer amount of cards, it came out to 3 to 5 cents a card, and I knew that even if all the best ones were cherry picked, what was left over, I could still make enough money to get my money back and quadruple or whatever. I can make a lot of money on these cards, and that has been the case, because I've cherry picked through those lots and started selling stuff on eBay. And then also the stuff is it currently in my antique mall and has been at shows, and I've made thousands and thousands of dollars off these previously cherry-picked cards. So hopefully that answers your question. If you have the opportunity to view a lot of cards in person at like an auction or at a show, look through those. If it's all, you'll be able to tell if it's all just junk chromes or scenic linens and before damaged cards. There aren't a whole bunch of real photos, and the real photos that are there are just generic crap views. Pretty good indication that the previous owner has cherry picked those cards. And that may not be 100% bad. If you're getting all those cards for a decent price, you could even turn around and lot those cards up. If you're getting them for a penny to a nickel each, you could, resell those cards maybe for a dime or 20 cents each. The thing you have to be careful about if you're buying them online is you might get those the sellers who in their pictures show you the cream of the crop. It might be 20 or 30 or 40 postcards that you're like, wow, these are incredible postcards, and he's only showing 30 of these cards, but there's 1,000 in the lot, and you go ahead and buy it just based on the 30 or 40 pictures you see, and you get the lot, and it's crap. They've put the best cards on top of the lot and sold you all their crap. That's happened to me before. There's just no way really around that unless you can ask the seller to send you more pictures of cards that aren't pictured on the listing. But there's really no 100% great way to tell if if the lot's been cherry picked unless you actually see that in person. So, not sure if my rambling answered your questions or not. But the best thing is look at all the pictures and look at the lot in person if you can do that, and then buy the cards for as cheap as you can. So hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. And it's kind of weird seeing two of my face on the screen, so I apologize for that. Hope you all have a great weekend.